This is Voices for Wednesday, March 15, 2023. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining the program. It's about 8 minutes past the 11 o'clock hour here in the studios of WINNFM 98.9, and you're tuned into Voices for Wednesday, March 15, 2023. Thank you so much for joining the program for today. You can check us out on our social media platforms. You can check our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, or our Twitter account. And of course, for the latest in what is happening here in St. Kitts and Nevis, across the region and internationally, you can visit www.winmediaskn.com. That's www.winmediaskn.com. The numbers to call are 466-0989 or 662-0989. That is 466-0989 or 662-0989. All right, good morning and welcome to Voices. I'm Devon Cornelius, your host for today. The phone lines are open and we're taking your calls, an opportunity for you to share your views and opinions on matters of national interest, things that you want to bring to the fore, and to debate the issues, to debate or give your view, your take on things happening here in St. Kitts and Nevis. To open the program, I want to share with you in the area of education, 19 CARICOM teachers participate in launch of Regional Skilled Workers Program. It says that the CARICOM Secretariat recently launched the CARICOM Skilled Workers Program, and this program provides opportunities within CARICOM or within the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, that is CSME. Dr. Carla Barnett, who's the Secretary General for CARICOM, outlined some of the initiative's details. She said 1 week work attachments of border officials in different member states to allow for sharing of best practices in the administration of the free movement regime for skilled nationals, placement of CSME focal points in the private and public sectors and regional institutions for 1 week. Focal points will benefit from observing and sharing best practices in opportunities of the CSME in key areas. 2 week work attachments for secondary school teachers to be exposed to teaching CSME and wider Caribbean integration in the classrooms in other member states and how best practices can be replicated in their own schools. The attachments will also serve to better inform participants about the qualification framework for the free movement of skills, such as the levels of technical qualifications, skilled national certification, and categories of skills approved for free movement, and 1 week internships for the new cohort of CARICOM youth ambassadors at the CARICOM Secretariat to expose them to regional integration processes so they can become better advocates for regional integration. Over the initial 2 weeks following the launch on March 6th, It says over the initial 2 weeks following the launch, on March 6 weeks, the focus is on teachers with other attachment opportunities. And those opportunities will include, it says will roll out even with the realities of air transportation in the region. The launch coincided with a secondary school teachers initiative, and 19 CARICOM teachers were placed on 2 week attachments to secondary schools in Barbados, Belize, Guyana, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Trinidad and Tobago from March 6 to 17, 2023. However, although efforts are being made to address the intra-regional travel gap, there are still challenges for people moving throughout the region. This is great news. For those of you who are just tuning in, it says 19 CARICOM teachers participate in launch of skilled or regional skilled workers program, and this has to do with the CARICOM Single Market and Economies, CSME, where members of CARICOM states who are skilled in various areas get the opportunity to migrate across CARICOM, across member states, to utilize their skills and experience in the public and private sector, And in this case, teachers, it also speaks to, well, in terms of CSME, it covers other areas, but specifically for this program, it is dealing with the teachers, and they've been placed in different member states: Trinidad and Tobago, St. Kitts and Nevis, Guyana, Belize, basically for training and to, I would say, exposure. The teachers, I think, would be taking advantage of this awesome opportunity and learn, as the article shared, best practices in a number of areas. This is Voices on WINNFM 98.9 for Wednesday, March 15, 2023. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. The phone lines are open and we're taking your calls at 466-0989 or 662-0989. That's 466-0989 or 662-0989. Let's acknowledge our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll continue the program for today.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9 Win FM.
Breathe easy. With the holidays just over and lots of fun spent on holiday supplies, activities and gifts, how are your finances? If your answer wasn't favorable, TDC Financial Services is here to help you breathe ease, to consolidate your loans and even get a little something in your hand. No need to worry. Visit our social media pages or call 465-6516 or 469-543.
For just $135 a month with Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Price
Welcome back to Voices right here on WINFM 98.9. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. It is Wednesday, March 15, 2023. The phone lines are open and we are taking your calls at 466-0989 or 662-0989. That's 466-0989 or 662-0989. Welcome back to the program. The repairs to Sir Lee Elmore Judicial Complex delayed because of excessive mold presence, says AG. Now, 9 months on, the mold situation at the Sir Lee Elmore Judicial Complex still needs to be rectified. In updating the Parliament on the situation, the Attorney General, Garth Wilkin, said there is a delay in giving a full report on what work is needed to rectify the mold issue since the complex was closed in June of 2022. Quote, in relation to the building, there has been a delay in completing the full examination of what needs to be done with the Sir Lee Elmore Judicial and Legal Services Complex. Because of the extreme mold presence, it is difficult for the public works officials to spend much time in the building. It has many rooms, many elements, so we are still awaiting a full report. But what I can tell the people of this nation is that 1, they have to replace the roof. 2, we have to replace all electrical and data lines. 3, we have to gut the central air conditioning system and replace it with a new system. 4, we have to condemn the basement, which attracts a lot of moisture given its presence in Bastia and our aquifer and the construction of our underground. Wilkin recounted the necessary measures taken because people working within the complex were getting sick and a young woman was losing her hair. Magistrate and High Court, the judges, changes, the High Court registry and general operations, pipes, walls, plant pots, and where there has been flooding, they will grow. The CDC also says many building materials provide suitable nutrients that encourage mold growth. Wet cellulose materials, including paper and paper products, cardboard, ceiling tiles, wood, and wood products, are particularly conducive to the growth of some molds. Other materials, such as dust, paint, wallpaper, insulation materials, drywall, carpet, fabric, and upholstery commonly support mold growth. The recommendation is to keep humidity levels as low as possible, between 30 and 50% all day. It says use an air conditioner or a dehumidifier during humid months. Ventilation. Fix any leaks to roofs, walls, or plumbing so mold does not have moisture to grow. Consider not using carpet in rooms or areas like bathrooms or basements that they may have a lot of moisture. Mr. Wilkin promised the nation that the complex would be approached holistically given its cultural and historical significance. There is mold in the Sir Lee Elmore Judicial Complex, and the government is working to have that situation rectified. We seem to have a major mold issue here in St. Kitts and Nevis, not just in government buildings and people are ignoring it. Management and people who own the various businesses, you complain about it, or you have reason to believe that there is mold, and not a soul take you on. Until it gets to the point where you're seeing signs and symptoms, you're losing your hair, other effects of mold, you have some sort of unexplained respiratory illness or disease, and you're wondering, what is causing this? It is the mold. I mean, just a few weeks ago, we reported on the mold situation at the Charlestown police station, where officers have been pleading and begging the government to fix the situation. We sought an update from the Prime Minister, who has responsibility for national security and health, and he noted that they are working to identify another location where those people who occupy the Charleston police station can be relocated. However, the officers there believe that it is not being done as quickly as possible. In other words, it could be done faster. They could identify a spot and get us out of this building that is clearly infected with mold. Then you have the situation at the Deep Bay police station. And these are issues that have been going on for years, to the point where people are getting sick. Employees are putting in sick leave after sick leave, and people are losing hair. People are getting, as I mentioned, unexplained respiratory illnesses. And you want to know what is the issue. And so this issue with the mold at the judicial complex, well, where I am, just next door, is a serious one. You can't just go and wipe off the mold and go back again. Experts have to be brought in, and people who know what they're doing have to be brought in to do their work. But it's a serious issue. It is a very, very, very serious issue. And so I'm happy that the AG has provided an update on the situation there, because we heard of rumors of mold at the Sir Limor Judicial Complex, and we didn't get an update as to the works that were happening, or if the government was going to take any necessary action to rectify the issue. All we heard was that there was mold, and that's it. People have been relocated to different venues or different areas, and that's it. And so now here is an update from the AG speaking on the issue, and noting that the government will see how best they can address the issue. And so I guess we're only finding out about mold in public or in places owned by the government, because it's public, it's the government. But what about businesses in the private sector? There are people who know that their buildings have mold. They know, or they have reason to believe, and they will never go and say, "Boy, let me go and do a check. Let me bring in a company to do a check to see if there is mold in my workplace." We're going to wait until it gets to the point where it is out of control, to the point where people are sick, to say, okay, we're going to have to work from this location instead of coming here or going there. It shouldn't get to that point. That's what we're saying. It should not get to that point. It really, really shouldn't get to that point. But people have been complaining about mold for quite some time, and so I'm really happy that the AG has spoken to this issue, and that they will get this issue rectified. But I don't think the judicial complex is the only building in Bastia or in Bastia, Charlestown, that has mold. A lot of businesses, they have mold in their workplaces and they refuse to do anything about it. You're listening to Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. The phone lines are open and we're taking your calls at 466-0989 or 662-0989. That's 466-0989 or 662-0989. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. We'll take a short break to acknowledge our sponsors, and when we come back, we will continue the conversation. Let's take this break, and we will be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
You hear that? That's unlimited WhatsApp and Facebook messaging with Flow's unlimited super combo prepaid plan.
Music to my ears. I can do everything in it.
Yeah, all you want. Have endless fun when you activate a 7-day plan for just $25. Enjoy 10 gigs of endless data for all your pics, GIFs, stickers, voice notes, voice calls, docs, and even video calls. Do all you want with unlimited WhatsApp and Facebook messaging on Flow's unlimited super combo prepaid plans. Switch to Flow today. Conditions apply.
Tea time, calling night, noon and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist it. Tea time, calling night, noon and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist it.
You can dunk it, you lick it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. You can dunk it, you lick it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. Anytime, whatever time. It's tea time. Whatever time. It's tea time. Snack on a delicious tea time biscuit anytime. It's tea time.
TDC for service, TDC for quality. TDC your company, TDC for service, TDC for quality.
TDC, your company.
Together we succeed, building a strong community, pressing onward to our destiny. One love, one family. Together we succeed. Let the whole world see. Yes, this is 50.
Welcome back to the program. Let's head to the phone lines and we will take this call. Caller, you are on the air. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am doing good, thanks. What about you?
Okay, not too bad. What I call to say, the courthouse have mold, right?
Yes.
That's what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, hello, that's what you're saying?
Yes, yes.
So how come they could recognize the courthouse have mold and the high school have mold too and they're going to bill on it? Thank you.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to this program. We are taking your calls right here on Voices on WINNFM 98.9. The phone lines are open. Call us at 466-0989 or 662-0989. That is 466-0989 or 662-0989. This is Voices for Wednesday, March 15, 2023. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. The mold situation at the Sir Lee Elmore Judicial Complex, and generally mold here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Yeah, a very troubling situation. There are some people who want to treat it as it's just mold. We're gonna be alright. No. There are people who can die. People who get seriously ill from being exposed to mold for long periods of time. And it is not something that we should ignore. It's not something that we should ignore. It's something that we should pay serious attention to, whether it be in the public or private sector. And so I'm calling on the private businesses, even government, but more so the private businesses. If you know that your workplace has mold, please get it fixed. You could always find a new building. Would you be able to find new staff in a short space of time? I don't think so. The phone lines are open and we're taking your calls at 466-0989 or 662-0989. 466-0989 or 662-0989. We're taking your calls right here on Voices on WINNFM 98.9. The caller asked about mole. Well, made reference to mole at school. I think perhaps you're referring to the Bastia High School. I think that situation has been rectified. If you're referring to the Bastia High School, I think that has been rectified where the last update that I saw or received was that they're going to build a new school at the current location, or at the old location, the one just above the park there. And in terms of the mold, they've done the necessary work to have that removed. So they're not going to build the new school knowing fully well that there are health issues or health hazards or things that may affect the health and well-being of the occupants, the teachers, the students, and other support staff. So no, that's not the case. If you're referring to the Bastia High School situation, if you're referring to any other school, then I can't comment or speak on that because I am not aware. The phone lines are open and we're taking your calls 466-0989 or 662-0989. If I could provide some more or share with you again as it relates to mold, some things that I think you should know. If you have any mold situation in your home, in your workplace, or in your surroundings, the recommendation from the CDC is to keep humidity levels as low as possible, between 30% and 50% all day. Use an air conditioner or a humidifier or a dehumidifier, during humid months. Ventilation, of course. Ventilation, I think, is a big one. Fix any leaks to roofs, walls, or plumbing so mold does not have moisture to grow. Fix any leaks to roofs, walls, or plumbing so mold does not have moisture to grow. It says consider not using carpet in rooms or areas like bathrooms or basements that may have a lot of moisture. Consider not using carpet in rooms or areas like bathrooms or basements that may have a lot of moisture. So use it then. Avoid using it. But ventilation is a big one. And keeping the humidity levels as low as possible. The recommendation from the CDC is about between 30 and 50% all day. And that will help. As you know, mold will grow in places where there is water, where there is moisture. The mold will grow. And so the drier you keep the place, the better it is for you. And you would slow significantly or prevent or stop the growth of mold, whether it be in your home, in your workplace or whatever environment you are in, of course, you know that if there is moisture, if there is water, there will be mold. And so that is something that you have to take into consideration. Mold isn't an easy thing to deal with. And there are people who get, when I say seriously ill because of being exposed to mold for long periods of time. The phone lines are open and we welcome your calls at 466-0989 or 662-0989. That's 466-0989 or 662-0989. We're taking your calls right here on WIN FM 98.9. Let me share with you the St. Kitts and Nevis Media Association president elected to 2023-2025 Association of Caribbean Media Workers Executive. The 11th Biennial General Assembly of the Association of Caribbean Media Workers was held in Guyana on March 12, and President of the Media Association of St. Kitts and Nevis, Andre Huey, was elected as a floor member for the 2023-2025 term. St. Kitts and Nevis was represented at the General Assembly in Guyana by SKN Media Association's second Vice President, German Abel. The new executive of the ACM includes Harvey Panka of Suriname, was uncontested for president. Nazima Raguber of Guyana was elected first vice president. Milton Walker of Jamaica was elected second vice president. Dennis Chabrol of Guyana was elected as the general secretary. Soiri Gray of Trinidad and Tobago was elected as the assistant general secretary. And Miriam Malmin of Martinique and Andre Huey of St. Kitts and Nevis were elected as floor members. The Association of Caribbean Media Workers is the regional body representing media associations and media workers, and 22 individuals from 12 regional associations and focal point people attended the ACM's 11th Biennial General Assembly, where country reports were tabled and discussed. 2 resolutions were tabled. One was referred to a special meeting of the ACM, while they passed the other to widen geographical representation for countries that do not have media associations or focal points. Now, some issues for the new ACM executive are press freedom and the professional development of the media, and further enhancing ACM's relationship with international freedom of expression organizations. The St. Kitts and Nevis Media Association's second vice president, German Abel, delivered the country report on behalf of the association, President Andre Huey. In conversation with WIN, Abel outlined some issues from the Federation's perspective. He spoke to some of the issues. He outlined the issues that include safety for media workers, access to government-level personnel for information, media workers practicing freely without fear of threats or legal action, respective laws, criminal defamation, and political pressure on media houses politically aligned. Based on other country reports, Abel indicated that the negative economic impact of COVID-19 still affects media houses across the region. He says one thing we're being challenged by, as in all media associations did indicate, was the fact that COVID-19 played a significant role in the state of the media at this point in time in St. Kitts and Nevis, because you had a lot of media houses either downsized or they are still feeling the impacts of COVID. at this point in time, 3 years into the pandemic, even though we would not have had a lot of impact like countries across the region. A lot of them either closed or they lost a majority of their staff. But for us in St. Kitts and Nevis, even though some media houses did cut, we still recognize that a lot of media houses, their newsrooms, are very, very short-staffed. A lot of media managers do not want to hire more personnel because they don't have the fiscal space in which to say they're going to hire 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 reporters. And so that is the situation there. Abel noted that one of the biggest threats to the media industry in the region is the national economic environment, with St. Kitts and Nevis securing a seat at the regional table. The Federation now has a voice and is a part of regional and international discussions and policy making related to the media industry. And St. Kitts and Nevis media workers now have a chance to share input on recommendations and solutions to the issues of media workers and assist in guiding the direction and evolution of the media industry in the Caribbean. In addressing some of our local issues, the Local Media Association will embark on efforts to meet with critical entities in St. Kitts and Nevis, specifically or especially in the public sector, to address another issue the Local Media Association has highlighted. Quote, a lot of people in St. Kitts and Nevis, especially politicians, police officers, and the like, do not understand the role of the media and the way in which people should be operating when it comes to the media and sharing information. We, as the Media Association of St. Kitts and Nevis, we are actually going forward through this year. We have not set specific timelines. We are looking to meet with a number of people to engage them on the role and importance and partnering with the media. One such is the police force. We've had time and time again since our resuscitation, we've seen a number of issues arising when it comes to the police, for example, sharing information. But then we also got word that when reporters or cameramen turn up on the scene, they have been harassed by police, which should not be the case when you are wearing an identifier, whether it be ZIZ, SKN Vibes, WINNFM, Freedom FM, VON, you name it. Once you have an ID, the police should be able to interact with us. The St. Kitts Nevis Media Association continues to applaud the local government for updating the Freedom of Information legislation, which has been an issue for media workers in St. Kitts and Nevis for some time. During this new 2-year term, the ACM will continue working closely with the Media Institute of the Caribbean to provide training programs and other opportunities for journalists across the Caribbean. That is pieces of the report from the Association of Caribbean Media Workers session held in Guyana in, I think it was, yes, on March 12th. It's about 14 minutes to the 12 o'clock hour where we break for the headline news. We'll take a break to acknowledge our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation right here on WINNFM 98.9. Let's take this break and we'll be right back.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have? Flow, now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us. TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Tea time, calling night, noon and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist it. Tea time, calling night, noon and morning. Tasty biscuit, just can't resist it.
You can dunk it, you lick it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. You can dunk it, you lick it, you taste it, you spin it, you twist it, you can mix them all together. It don't get any better. Anytime, whatever time. It's tea time. Whatever time. It's tea time. Snack on a delicious tea time biscuit anytime. It's tea time.
You hear that? That's unlimited WhatsApp and Facebook messaging with Flow's unlimited super combo prepaid plan.
Music to my ears. I can do everything in it.
Yeah, all you want. Have endless fun when you activate a 7-day plan for just $25. Enjoy 10 gigs of endless data for all your pics, GIFs, stickers, voice notes, voice calls, docs, and even video calls. Do all you want with unlimited WhatsApp and Facebook messaging on Flow's unlimited super combo prepaid plans. Switch to Flow today. Conditions apply.
Breathe easy. With the holidays just over and lots of fun spent on holiday supplies, activities and gifts, how are your finances? If your answer wasn't favorable, TDC Financial Services is here to help you breathe easy. Up to $40,000 unsecured to consolidate your loans and even get a little something in your hand. No need to worry. Visit our social media pages or call 465-6516 or 469-5430 to learn more on how you can breathe easy with TDC Financial Services Limited. Terms and conditions apply.
right, it is just a few minutes before the 12 o'clock hour. We break for the headline news. Let me say thank you so much for your contribution to this program. We'll break at 12 for the headline news, and when we come back, we will continue the conversation for today.
Found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, KDP Enterprises, Carib Brewery, and NHC.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoyed the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
NHC is helping you to pay less in 2023. Having difficulties keeping up to date with your mortgage? Make an appointment to speak with your account manager today and learn how you can pay less. Our refinancing program will give you the opportunity to pay as low as $300 a month. Call us 466-4701 or visit our office at East Park Range. Pay less. Worry less with NHC refinancing program that's designed with you in mind. Offer valid from February 1st to June 30th.
With the WINNFM Midday News, I am Kevon Brown. Our top stories: local pastor advocates for Mr. Elquimido Willett to become next national hero of St. Kitts and Nevis. Eunice Brown Memorial Prayer Garden dedicated to other departed sisters memorialized. Grenada Prime Minister pledges help to St. Lucia amid security headaches. Antigua and Barbuda has written to the International Organization of Migration and the United Nations Refugee Agency over 500 African migrants stuck on the island. Internationally, North Korea fired 2 short-range ballistic missiles into the sea off its east coast, the latest of several weapons tests as South Korea and the United States conducted their largest joint military drills in years. The U.S. has accused Russia of reckless behavior after an American drone crashed into the Black Sea following an encounter with Russian fighter jets. Now the details. Reverend Ron Daniel took to social media to share his desire to see Mr. Elquimido Willett as a national hero of St. Kitts and Nevis when the country observes National Heroes Day on September 16th, 2023. Elquimido Willett was the first person from the Leeward Islands to play for the West Indies, and according to Daniel, quote, "It was he who paved the way for so many other greats from the Leeward Islands. It was he who not only shattered the glass for other cricketers, but inspired people from the Federation en masse to believe that they too can make it on the international scene," end quote. Since Willett's ascension to the West Indies 50 years ago at the age of 19, 6 other cricketers from the Federation have followed him: Derek Parry, Keith Atherton, Stuart Williams, Carl Tuckett, Renarco Morton, and Kieran Powell. Daniel echoed the sentiments of many Nevisians and Kittitians that Willett's debut to the West Indies in 1973 lifted the spirits of the citizens plunged into mourning in 1970 due to the Christina disaster. The pastor stated, quote, "Willett gave Nevisians reasons to hope again, live again, and to dream again," end quote. Despite the odds, Mr. Willett persevered and climbed to higher heights. The Reverend explained, quote, "Willett did this in 1973 without any accredited coaches, without international cricket grounds, without nets, without a constant supply of water or electricity, without any cricket store for cricket gear, without any example in the entire Leeward Islands to inspire him or pattern from, without any media to hype him up, and without any player or selector from the Leeward Islands to make a case for him. This is truly heroic," end quote. Daniel suggests that Sir or National Hero be added to the name of Mr. Willett to complement other recognitions, such as the renaming of Grove Park in his honor, Elquimido T. Willett Park, a gold jacket award by the Leeward Islands Board, a bust and exhibits of him at the Nevis Sports Museum, documentation of Willett and his cricket career in a book penned by Mr. Stevenson Manners, and a special 50th anniversary banquet to celebrate Willett's debut to international cricket. Reverend Juan Daniel calls on the decision makers to ensure Mr. Elquimido Willett is knighted as a national hero in 2023. Quote, "I urge those in authority to make sure that Willett becomes Sir Elquimido Willett this year. His accomplishments will spur the next generation of
seas that were built to last.
Additionally, a memorial bench was erected at the Ulysses Brown Prayer Garden in honor of Minister Dawn Mills, who died on July 1st, 2022. The unveiling was done by her friend Diane Prentice. The bench reads, quote, "In memory of Dawn P. Mills, a worshipper," end quote. Another memorial bench was unveiled at the prayer garden in honor of Jamalise Bristol, who passed away on July 18th, 2022. Her widower, Deacon Marlon Bristol, and their son, Ethan Bristol, did the unveiling. The bench reads, quote, "In memory of Jamalise Doris Bristol, we are inspired by your faith," end quote. Bristol expressed gratitude to the Antioch Baptist Church for remembering his departed wife.
Thank you very much, Pastor Connor. Allow me to express my profound gratitude and thanks to you as lead pastor of the Antioch Baptist Church, and also Pastor Keatley and Pastor Peart for your tremendous support throughout the years. Ever since Jem and I became part of this ministry, you've been there for us. You've been a pillar of support to all of us. Thanks to the congregation who prayed and gave support throughout our ordeal. I want to say a big thanks to those online looking. Many of you supported, contributed, and just helped us along this difficult journey.
Pastor Connor extended gratitude to all who contributed to the project and invited others to contribute if they so desire.
And this project has been made possible through the kind support and the generosity of so many of you gathered here today, and those who are joining us on social media, and others, I'm sure, who will contribute, who have committed themselves but have not yet contributed. But we want to say especially gratitude to Cajola Quistada for the management and staff there when the operation was here in the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis, and also to the Windsor University and School of Medicine for their generous support.
In regional news, Grenada Prime Minister pledges help to St. Lucia amid security headaches. Antigua and Barbuda has written to the International Organization of Migration and the United Nations Refugee Agency over 500 African migrants stuck on the island. Those reports and more.
Organization of Migration and the UN Refugee Agency to help it assess the situation with 500 African migrants that are stuck on the island. The migrants, most from Nigeria and Cameroon, came on controversial charters late last year, but has since not returned home nor moved to other destinations. In wrapping up the budget debate late Tuesday, Prime Minister Gaston Brown told his nation there is no need for panic over the issue, saying the matter is under control.
But in any case, what we have done, we have written to the IOM and to the UNHCR to arrange technical assistance to help us to determine a needs assessment, to determine what the needs of these immigrants are. We are asking the UNHCR and the IOM to assist us in that regard, and at the same time to help us also determine the type of skills that they bring to the table, and to determine how many would like to be repatriated, if any, and how many would like to be assimilated into the domestic society.
Brown said the international organizations could help the government in its overall assessment of the status of the migrants.
Now clearly, if after this assessment is done and there are criminal elements here, they will be repatriated. But I believe that we have the capacity to assimilate them into the domestic society, those who wish to stay. And many of them come with significant skills. Now at the end of the day, they are brothers and sisters.
Antigua and Barbuda's Attorney General Steroy Benjamin has once again advocated for his country to make the Caribbean Court its final appellate court. Speaking during the budget debate in St. John's Tuesday, Benjamin called on the opposition to support any moves to have the CCJ established as the final court. A referendum on the issue there was defeated a few years ago.
It is an affront to our sovereignty as an independent nation that the foreign jurisdiction should be our final court of appeal. It is an affront to our sovereignty as an independent nation that the foreign tribunal should be our final court of appeal. And I'm calling upon you, Mr. Pringle. I'm calling upon you on the other side. Forget about partisan politics and do what is right for this nation.
Benjamin said that Antigua and Barbuda should also move to become a republic.
We have to be republic. In every democracy, there are three arms: legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. And if we don't control those three arms, those three pillars of democracy, we are not really free.
Antigua's Attorney General Roy Benjamin.
We now bring you these international reports.
As the US and South Korea stage their biggest joint military exercise in years, North Korea has fired several short-range missiles into the sea off its east coast in response. The country's state news agency KCNA said on Wednesday the launches were part of a military drill to train its troops to carry out their mission at any time and, quote, annihilate the enemy if necessary. Last week, leader Kim Jong-un ordered the military to expand combat drills and prepare for war. Tuesday's missile launches coincided with 11-day joint drills between South Korean and American forces, dubbed Freedom Shield 23. North Korea condemns the joint drills as a rehearsal for invasion and proof of hostile policies from Seoul and Washington. About 400 soldiers, 50 military equipment, and 2 Apache helicopters were mobilized for the operation on Monday. US Captain Sean Casperson.
We've learned a lot from each other and been able to demonstrate our ability to work together as one team. We look forward to continuing to train together and building the relationship between the US and the Korean forces. We'll remain ready to fight tonight. Kachi kapshida.
South Korea is also seeking closer ties with Japan to combat the threat from Pyongyang, despite decades of friction and mistrust between the two US allies. On Wednesday, President Yoon Suk-yeol said cooperation with Tokyo was vital as he prepares to visit Tokyo, the first visit by a South Korean leader in 12 years. The planned trip comes after South Korea announced last week its companies would compensate victims of forced labor under Japan's colonial rule from 1910 to 1945. The dispute has undermined US-led efforts to present a united front against China and North Korea.
It never occurred to Ayman al-Hassan that a small demonstration in the old quarter of Damascus 12 years ago would change his country and his destiny. Originally from the northwestern city of Ma'arrat al-Nu'man, he and his family are always on the move, seeking shelter from government shelling and airstrikes by Russian planes.
We are the ones who pay the price. Displacement, shelling, add to this the earthquake. We are helpless and we suffer.
Across towns and villages under rebel control in northwestern Syria, people face a tough reality. President Bashar al-Assad remains in power. Backed by Iran and Russia, he is now hoping to reconcile with the countries that once sought to topple him. Ahmed Hallaq was 14 when the uprising started. He survived barrel bombs, airstrikes and earthquakes. He says acceptance of the Assad regime is a betrayal of the people who died in the uprising.
Well, actually, this idea of the reconciliation with the Assad regime is ridiculous and is completely rejected by the people here in northwest Syria. The Assad regime and its ally, Russia and Iran, have been killing those people for over 11 or 12 years. How can we reconcile with him?
A truce brokered by Russia and Turkey in March 2020 still holds. But rebel forces led by the powerful group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham remain defiant.
We have restructured and reorganized our forces. They are modernized, better equipped. We've also consolidated our defense lines, and if our enemies decide to cross those lines, they will pay a hefty price.
For now, the conflict seems endless. The international community has accused Assad of laying siege to towns, starving people, and using chemical weapons. But at the same time, it's never fully trusted the rebels. A few months into the uprising, Syrian rebels were advancing to capture Damascus. But their military gains were soon reversed when Assad and his allies went on the offensive. Now the rebels have retreated to their last stronghold in Idlib province. Outgunned and outnumbered, their future hangs by a thread. Hashim Al-Bara, Al Jazeera, Gaziantep.
Now, the US and Russia are giving conflicting accounts about how an American surveillance drone plunged into the Black Sea. Washington says 2 Russian jets tried to intercept the drone before striking a propeller. Russia's ambassador to the US has denied any collision took place and claimed the aircraft's presence was a provocation. Here's our North America correspondent, Peter Bowes.
An American MQ-9 drone and 2 Russian fighter jets. Their encounter, according to the Pentagon, lasted up to 40 minutes in international airspace. They were over the Black Sea, where tensions have risen ever since Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014, and where US surveillance aircraft have been flying regularly since the start of the war last year. The Pentagon says one of the Russian jets moved in front of the drone and eventually forced the unmanned aerial vehicle, or UAV, to crash into the sea. It was a complete loss of the aircraft.
We are continuing to assess exactly what happened, but I think based on the actions of the Russian pilots, it's clear that it was unsafe, unprofessional, and I think the actions speak for themselves. What we saw, again, were fighter aircraft dumping fuel in front of the UAV and then getting so close to the aircraft that it actually damaged the propeller on the MQ-9. We assess that it likely caused some damage to the Russian aircraft as well.
Russia's ambassador to the US called the drone's presence a provocation. He said the aircraft's transponder, which is used to avoid mid-air collisions, was switched off, and it had violated what Russia calls the temporary airspace regime established since it attacked Ukraine. The US says the Russian pilots were reckless. But was it deliberate or a careless mistake that caused the drone to crash into the sea? An error that risks escalating tensions between Washington and Moscow.
The Pentagon is engaging in diplo speak here, but it's clear that if you're flying in front of the drone, slowing down to match speed, dumping fuel on it, that this is a deliberate attempt to bring down the drone. Absolutely. The Pentagon announced with this that this isn't the first time that they've had these kinds of incidents, but this seems to be the worst. The first time they've really attempted, the Russians have attempted to bring the drone all the way down instead of just harassing it. So I think it is a serious escalation at this point.
This is the first publicly acknowledged confrontation between the US and Russia since its invasion of Ukraine. For now, it's led to a war of words, but the longer-term consequences are far from clear. Peter Bowes, BBC News.
And from Kyiv, our diplomatic correspondent James Landale outlines how this could play out between the two countries now.
I think both sides will do their very best to avoid this escalating throughout this conflict over the last year since Russia invaded Ukraine. Both Russia and NATO and the United States have made huge efforts to avoid any form of escalation. Both sides have made it clear they are aware of the risks of that. So I think that, yes, there will be very stiff language used by the United States in protest diplomatically, but I think they will do their utmost to make sure that this doesn't spiral out into some kind of further military confrontation. That said, I think the Americans will demand explanations from the Russians as to what they were doing. And I think that at some point it wouldn't surprise me if film of what happened emerges that will challenge probably one of the accounts that we've just heard in Peter's report. But we're not at that point yet.
Shares in European banks tumbled again on Wednesday, dashing hopes that the storm had passed. By late morning, the region's stocks banking index was down around 6%. Credit Suisse was leading the way lower. The embattled Swiss bank saw its shares fall over 20%. It's faced a long series of scandals and seen huge outflows of capital. This week it admitted to finding material weaknesses in its past financial reporting. On Wednesday, its top investor, Saudi National Bank, said it couldn't put in any more money. The turmoil for the sector comes after the collapse of tech-focused lender Silicon Valley Bank. US regulators have tried to assure depositors that any cash held there or in other banks remains safe. There's now also talk of tighter regulation for lenders, but contagion fears have pummeled stocks for the whole sector. They also pose a dilemma for central bankers. The US Federal Reserve had been expected to hike rates again to tackle stubbornly high inflation. But some market watchers think those plans may now have to be revised for fear of sparking deeper trouble for banks.
You were listening to the Midday News on WINNFM 98.9. The headlines: local pastor advocates for Mr. Elquimido Willett to become next national hero of St. Kitts and Nevis. Eunice Brown Memorial Prayer Garden dedicated to other departed sisters memorialized. Grenada Prime Minister pledges help to St. Lucia amid security headaches. Antigua and Barbuda has written to the International Organization of Migration and the United Nations Refugee Agency over 500 African migrants stuck on the island. Internationally, North Korea fired 2 short-range ballistic missiles into the sea off its east coast, the latest of several weapons tests as South Korea and the United States conducted their largest joint military drills in years. The U.S. has accused Russia of reckless behavior after an American drone crashed into the Black Sea following an encounter with Russian fighter jets. Thank you for listening.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, KDP Enterprises, Carib Brewery, and NHC.
NHC is helping you to pay less in 2023. Having difficulties keeping up to date with your mortgage? Make an appointment to speak with your account manager today and learn how you can pay less. Our refinancing program will give you the opportunity to pay as low as $300 a month. Call us 466-4701 or visit our office at East Park Range. Pay less. Worry less with NHC refinancing program that's designed with you in mind. Offer valid from February 1st to June 30th.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Bastia in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
We regret to announce the death of Susanna Percival, better known as Sylvanie Pell of Lodge Project St. Kitts, who resided in the United States. She died at the age of 78. She leaves to mourn her 5 children, Cheryl Brown Campbell and Cameron Anthony McCoy in the United States, Basil Williams, Superintendent Lyndon David of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, and Lincoln David Pell in St. Kitts. Sisters and brothers, Marilyn Pell Joseph in St. Thomas, Beatrice Pell, Cecil Pell, Fitzroy Pell, Clarence Pell in Antigua, and Ethelyn Walker in the United States. She also leaves to mourn 14 grandchildren, Shalva Brown, Terrell Brown, and Kizan David in the United States, Bronte David Francis, Xavier David, Javon Williams, Kimoya Akila Williams, Lyndon David Jr., Akenja Watson, DeQuancia Samuel, and Juvincia McCoy in St. Kitts, Shanice Williams and Tamar David in the United Kingdom, and Cheyenne Peets in Bermuda. 5 great-grandchildren, Tristan Allen and Cameron Allen in the United Kingdom, Kaylin Francis and Sivonje White in St. Kitts, and Aziel David in the United States. The deceased also leaves to mourn many family members and friends, including her niece Emily Bristol and family of Lodge Project St. Kitts, the children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren of her brother, the late Charlie Taylor of Phillips's Village, St. Kitts. The funeral service of the late Sylvanie Pell will be held at the Mount Carmel Baptist Church in Borio, St. Kitts on Friday, March 17, 2023. Viewing at 1 p.m. Service at 2 p.m. Interment at the St. Mary's Parish Anglican Cemetery in Cayon, St. Kitts.
Found the sound 98.9.
King Ocean, king of the Caribbean seas, announces king-size savings on shipments from Miami to St. Kitts. We have the best service and competitive rates on LCL and FCL cargo, including D&E containers, cars, heavy equipment, buses, boats, and barrels from Miami to St. Kitts. LCL pickup service anywhere in the U.S. Call local agents SL Horseman and Company Limited at 869-465-4086 or 869-662-5008 for further details. King Ocean's king-size savings on shipments from Miami to St. Kitts Nevis. King Ocean, king of the Caribbean seas.
The Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis is now online, providing simple and convenient services to pay your loan anywhere at any time. It begins with you logging on to our website, www.skndb.com. Click the online payment option, select Request Access, input your personal information, and submit payment. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Yes, we've made it easier for you to pay your loan anytime, anywhere. The Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis, making a sustained positive difference in your life.
Good afternoon, St. Kitts and Nevis, and welcome back to Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. It's Wednesday, March 15, 2023. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. I have a commentary I want to play for you from Dwyer Astafan, speaking on the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party administration led by Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew. Is about 8 or 9 minutes. It is worth listening to, so let me put up that commentary for you right now.
Greetings. Running a country is not an easy thing, even a small country like ours. And being a genuine social commentator is also not an easy thing. In some countries, people lose their lives doing it. Fortunately, that's not the case in St. Kitts and Nevis. However, social critics here have faced personal abuse, character assassination, and victimization. And the abuse and personal attacks have become more vicious and plentiful with the advent of mankind's latest weapon of mass destruction, the social media, a virtually limitless platform for expression and information sharing, which was created by human ingenuity, but which has exposed levels of human depravity never before experienced. Many people across the globe are afraid to express themselves openly. They spend much of their lives suffering from fearful hearts, frustrated minds, and constipated consciences. I don't allow myself to be shackled and boxing like that. I express myself. Of course, I try not to be irresponsible, disrespectful, deceitful, or defamatory. I take this thing very seriously, and in my own little way, my aim is to inform and to encourage people to think, all in the hope that individually and collectively we can make our country a better place. I am a supporter of the philosophy of the labor movement, and I appreciate its great accomplishments on behalf of the people of this country over the past 90 plus years. But my loyalties are to principles and causes, not to individuals. Now, to those of you listening to this commentary, who at this point might be salivating in hope and anticipation that what follows will be an attack on the Terence Drew administration, I encourage you to save your saliva. Save it for the revelations which can see some individuals doing jail time for crimes that they committed against the people of this land. And in any case, I don't attack. Rather, I observe, I do my research, and I deliver. And when I tell you that something is a fact, it is. And when I tell you something is likely to happen, the record shows that it usually does happen. When I spoke out against things that had been done under the Simmons administration, and then the Douglas administration, and then the Harris administration, the pushback came mainly in the form of personal abuse, hate-mongering, and so forth, not in the form of reasoned responses and rebuttals. You see, people don't respond to logic, often with logic, so they respond with personal abuse. And in this process, in my days of advocacy and agitation, going back to the early 90s, 3 prime ministers have lost their jobs, and deservingly so. Prime Minister Drew has earned his way to the leadership of this country, and he deserves a fair chance to prove his worth. But getting a fair chance doesn't come just from us. He has to be involved in giving himself a fair chance as well. And he will do that by making sound decisions, taking sound advice, avoiding yes men and yes women, avoiding opportunists, avoiding square pegs who are called upon to fit into round holes. And you will have to neutralize the deceptive ones whose mentalities and actions are not in his interest, not in the Labour Party's interest, not in the country's interest. There are some who profess their loyalty to his leadership, but they are liars and underminers. I know what some of them are doing, and I know who's their man of business, and it isn't Dr. Drew. All of these groups, which I've mentioned, are already doing damage, and they must be stopped. Now, some of you are going to be displeased with me for saying these things, but if you are one of the liars and underminers, you know that I and other people are now on to you. And if you are not one of those liars and underminers, just an innocent bystander who is skeptical of what I'm saying, in time you will see. But I'm not waiting. I'm backing Dr. Drew and the Labour Party under his leadership, and I will do what I have to do to smoke out the liars and the underminers and the square pegs and the opportunists and the other deadweights. We need a lean and clean machine. And the final group of persons who need to step up their game are Dr. Drew's elected colleagues. They must remember that they were elected to Parliament, not to Cabinet. So they are first and foremost representatives of the people, and they must act accordingly, busy as they may be with their ministerial duties. They must never lose touch with the people on the ground. Remember, nobody forced them into candidacy. Whether as representatives or ministers, they must keep in touch with the ground and keep at the forefront of their thoughts and actions the empowerment of the people of this country, especially the small man and woman. But let me put this in perspective. These negative forces to which I've referred are not unique to the Drew administration. They exist in all parties and organizations and always did. Even in this organization and this government and this country, which has such a popular leader in Dr. Drew. And though these people may be small in number, I mean the liars and the underminers particularly, they need to be smoked out, regardless of how high up the ladder they may be positioned. Similarly, of course, for the square pegs, the opportunists, and the deadweights. Can you imagine one of these people telling an investor to encourage Dr. Drew to bring back Galaxy, who milked this country for hundreds of millions of US dollars? And what do we have to show for it? Can you imagine one of them bad-mouthing the young cabinet to an investor? Can you imagine one of them telling an investor who wants to build a small number of residences here for super billionaires who can do so much to help our country and our people? Can you imagine one of them telling an investor that that's not a good idea, that the country doesn't want that? Can you imagine one of them telling a big investor whose money is clean and who can create serious economic opportunity and jobs in the country that the investor's paperwork must fit into the queue, not high priority, wait its turn for months maybe before it can be addressed? These are some of the things that the liars and underminers are saying and doing. That is why they must be stopped, and that is why we are going to smoke them out. They are not going to be allowed to torpedo the efforts of Dr. Drew and the people of this country to get where we all need to be. Those days are done, and those types of people must go. Until next time, all the very best.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
This is your boy, Super Handy Andy, with your Super Handy Andy deals at Hostel's Building Center for the month of March. Mini blinds was $178.43, now $151.67. Flush valve repair kit was $78.61, now just $66.82. Eco tankless water heater was $1846.41, now reduced to $1569.79. Bathroom cabinet saver was $582.62, it's only now just $495.24. Freestanding closet was $554.91, it's now only $471.67. Super handy Andy deals at Hostel's Building Center for the month of March only, making home improvement easy.
The Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis is now online, providing simple and convenient services to pay your loan anywhere at any time. It begins with you logging on to our website, www.skndb.com. Click the online payment option, select Request Access, input your personal information, and submit payment. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Yes, we've made it easier for you to pay your loan anytime, anywhere. The Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis, making a sustained positive difference in your life.
Welcome back to Voices right here on WINN FM 98.9. It is just a few minutes before the 1 o'clock hour. The phone lines are open and we're taking your calls at 466-0989 or 662-0989. That's 466-0989 or 662-0989. Your thoughts on the commentary there by Doya Astefan. In the commentary, he suggested that there are people who are seeking to undermine the Dr. Terence Drew-led administration. Let's head to the phone lines and we'll take some calls. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Devon.
How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. And you?
Not bad at all.
Yeah, I was listening to the commentary that you were playing just now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all I have to say about that, he who live in glass houses must not trust stone. And Matthew chapter 7 verse 5 say, thou hypocrite, first take the big beam out of your eye, then you will see clearly to take the little mote out of your brother's eye. That's all I got to say about that comment. That is all I got to say. Because when people going to see people do wrong things to innocent people, turning with people who ain't offend the place of employment, who ain't do nothing wrong, but they're going to turn them away, all because they're not politically supporting them. And then them people will make comment and say they're supporting the person who turning with people like that. And smoke, not smoke, why we say smoke out a shrub out, throat. Okay, get rid of them, all them winners and whatnot. They must first look at themselves. Look at what they do. They break the law from the courthouse, the judge, the decision. They break that. They defy that. So when they come in talking about other people, let them clean up themselves, man. Clean up. Let them go back and check to see all what they break and what they did wrong before they come and criticize other people and talk about other people. Thank you, Devon. That's all I have to say about it. Thank you very much.
And thank you so much, caller, for your contribution to this program. I truly appreciate it. The phone lines are open and we're taking your calls at 466-0989 or 662-0989. Sorry, that's 466-0989 or 662-0989. Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take this call. Caller, you're on the air. Hello, caller. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
How are you? Good afternoon.
Yes, I'm doing good.
Well,
thanks.
we got a development down here on Port Zante. And you know, we just come out of COVID. And I really don't see that make too much of sense right now at the moment. The country have to make money by alcohol. And what I see down here at the moment, whoever advising that board and these young people to move the Indians, them mannequin, where the tourists walk from the ship, come up to one barrel, see a t-shirt near my little sink, and will say, oh, is they selling that? Oh, I can find my t-shirt deal. All that gone. How these people can make money? They have to pay big rent. They have to pay big rent. The port depends on these people to pay wherever for the port to run. Mr. Philip Arna, Esbel, Monkey Bob, they tried that already in the years. What happened to these just come people? When they don't listen people, they got all kind of people who just come around here putting all kind of damn stupidness in their head to mess up with tourist industry. This is how these people make the money. When the tourists come out the ship and they see the item, them and the mannequin by the different stores, it ain't a good sight. But we want the stores to make money to pay the government light bills. The lesser lights in these stores and these jewelry, they gotta pay big money. How the hell you could be doing that? It's a big ship on the ground. Well, I'm doing trying to sabotage Masha. Well, I'm going to hear me, no? Because you back down. Have a good day, Devon. This is Jamdom parking here. And this sport, where Kennedy Simmons Bell must make money. It has to make money because I will speak. Timothy was here and do that. Mr. Philip tried in the early years, they refrained from it because they see the movements with the sport, they didn't make no money. And what the heck are you doing? If I want to do something, leave that for now. We're just coming out of COVID. The people them just start to feel out themselves. What the hell wrong with you? They won't have a good day.
All right,
I
Clark.
like enemies, you know.
Yeah, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. You're listening to Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. It is Wednesday, March 15, 2023. It is just 1 minute past the 1 o'clock hour here in our studios. The phone lines are open and we are taking your calls at 466-0989 or 662-0989. That is 466-0989. Sorry, or 662-0989. Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take some more calls. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Evan, it's me again. You cut me off. I was telling you this.
Oh, sorry.
You have to come down here and speak with these two owners. The hotel. The people gonna make money. Oh, have a good day, Evan.
Yeah, sorry, caller. I thought you were finished. That's why I didn't realize you were still making a point. My apologies. The phone lines are open. The phone lines are open and we're taking your calls right here on Voices on WINNFM 98.9. Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take some more calls. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hey, good afternoon, Mr. Cornelius.
Yes, go ahead.
Concerning to the report that Mr. Dwyer Stefan just made, I'll tell you something with Dwyer Stefan, right? Straight up. This is Cash Right Tweet speaking. I registered East Bastille. Labour win the election 1995. I could not have got to my own representative. It's Dwyer Astafan and Sam Conda, with who I could have got and spoke to. So I don't spear no punches. Straight up. Because all when I was having problems with Denzel Douglas as the Prime Minister of this country, it's Dwyer Astafan who took my problems into cabinet. I have a report from that said morning, 2007. All when Douglas, we had hot peppers going in Canada, we had tomatoes, whose industry was interested in buying from St. Kitts, but Douglas was the big stone in the way. We had to lose the export market into Canada after a short space of less than a month. The people in Canada who was importing the hot peppers, there was charter in the jet to come to St. Kitts to pick up the hot peppers. SSMC was the biggest enterprise in it. They had the most lands. But we had just like how we had a sun right now, we had another sun back in 1999. Me and a couple other persons, one from Nevis, I believe it is Danny Atherton. We could have maintained or come close to the quota because we had one to meet the quota. The people in Canada were paying the debt as I said to you, so we had no free to pay. But yet still, a lot of people, small bit of people, pushing their hand in the kitty for the money. But who doing the work ain't getting nothing next, or getting next to nothing. So I asked the fans stand up in defense of us. He was the Minister of Agriculture, but yet still he stood up. Why do you think he put out of Labour? A lot of things are going on about Conchery. Anyway, somebody's calling you. Go and call me, Cash Right, please. 668-2555. Please call me.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to this program. You're listening to Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. The phone lines are open and we're welcoming your calls at 466-0989 or 662-0989. We have some more callers on the line, so we'll head back to the phone lines and we'll take them. Good caller, good afternoon. Okay. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
You know, the Bible tells us we destroy of lack of knowledge.
Sorry?
And the Bible tells us man are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. So when you say we are destroyed, And then when they also, when they caught the lady in adultery, it was not just the lady alone who committed the adultery. It was both the man and the woman. So it's a he without sin cast the first stone. Now, I send this to say that Pam, people didn't vote for Pam because Pam was saying Pam and CCM. Now they're saying, oh, may I vote for CCM because this. You're supposed to obey Pam performance. All this last and we call it the portion of promises, the empty promises. Now, see who is suffering. Maybe now they are saying, oh if they could have, would have. You know, they are saying, well, let me try Pam and CCM, we'll see what's going to happen. But no, who no vote, they vote for Labour. Well, they ask for Labour, they get Labour. You know, like Trump being said when the people was making noise. Trump said, well, I got the next 4 years. We think about that. So they now they have a next 5 years. We think about that. You make your choice. All of this, they have put in PAM and CCM. People, the PAP will are going good, the STEP will are going good, and the peace will are going good because it's on there. We, as a federation, you're supposed to, I think, a government, whatever the other government went in and you come out, you're supposed to continue for what the government start when you want to go into parliament, not going and put in. Now, the older people who is 65 and going, then kind of people, they were supposed to out and rejoin the retirement. And for the young people who just go like Six Farm and CFBC and all them to go in and get the job. No care who they vote for. Because at the end of the day, God now want to hear who are CCM, who are NRP, who are PAM, that level. All of us going to get counted on that day. So, if you so, maybe it's not go get the election because we don't accustomed to that. But you think it's, you know, but thank God, we listen to this. I pour up my little Lewis and whole leading at this point. So them now have a long, next 4 years and months, to think about the choice that they make. When all these, when I compare what Pam was saying and Labour is saying now, I think that they should give Sean Richards and the team a try. Thank you. You have a good day.
And thank you, caller, for your contribution to this program. You're listening to Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. The phone lines are open and we're taking your calls at 466-0989 or at 662-0989. Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take some more calls. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yes, Mr. Cornelius, good afternoon. I've been hearing a thing, and I want to know if that is accurate. And it was brought to my attention by a couple of people. A statement Mr. Brantley made last week when he said that people must not depend on the PAP because he said, for his recollection, something to that effect, he was a part of the government who introduced it, and it wasn't supposed to be a permanent thing. Yes, I agree with him that it wasn't supposed to be a permanent thing. People are supposed to be graduating. Those who can graduate, not everybody would graduate from it permanently, you understand. But the part where I have a problem with, and a lot of people have a problem with, he said it was designed. He said PAP was designed for COVID-19, which is a joke. Yes, they had an extension of the PAP after some people lose their job, and so they put on some more people on the existing one that was launched in 2018. So how Mr. Brantley said that he was a part of a government that launched PAP because of the COVID situation when COVID was launched in 2018. I think Mr. Brantley needs to come to the general public and explain that to the people.
Well,
because that is not accurate.
Right, caller, and you are correct. The poverty alleviation program was officially launched in December of 2018. I remember when it was launched. I think the launch took place simultaneously. There was a launch on St. Kitts and there was a launch on Nevis. And at that time, it was not stated that it was for... Well, in 2018, we had no COVID. Nobody knew about COVID in 2018. So that is false. PAP was not launched.
And Mr. Brandt, you need to come and apologize to the general public. You need to do that. I mean, what was introduced for COVID-19 was a stimulus package. You remember when people were getting, I think, $1,000 for 3 months from Social Security?
Yes.
And interestingly, he didn't mention that. That is the one that was designed for COVID-19. So that's my little bit, Mr. Cornelius.
Mm-hmm. All right, Colin, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. Yeah, I've been hearing about that as well. But to my recollection, the Poverty Alleviation Program, PAP, was launched in December of 2018. It was not launched. If that is what he said, that is incorrect. It was not launched for COVID. It was launched in 2018. Nobody knew about COVID in 2018. Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take this call. Caller, you're on the air. Good afternoon.
Yeah, real quickly, right? Not to really put that caller on the spot, but I hope that tonight, Mark Brantley should be on his show tonight, right? You know, I will try to encourage that caller to see if he can call in tonight, and so we can get the answer that he's looking for about that comment he said about Brantley, you know, with the PAP, the PAP program, the comments that Brantley made last week about the PAP program. You know, I want to try to support that caller, right, and encourage him to call in on Brantley's show tonight and put him on the spot tonight and let me get that answer. All right? If that caller is listening still, man, I would encourage you to call in on Brantley's show tonight. I'll be listening. You know, let you call in tonight. If hopefully he'll be on himself and not somebody else. And if he's on tonight, I'll encourage that caller to call in tonight, and I'll be listening to try to extract that, you know, clarification. All right? Thanks a lot, man.
All right, caller, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. The phone lines are open and we're taking your calls right here on Voices. This is Voices for Wednesday, March 15, 2023. It is 1:13 here in our studios. The phone lines are open. Call us at 466-0989 or 662-0989. That's 466-0989 or 662-0989. Yeah, to my recollection, PAP was launched in 2018. It is still in operation today, 2023. But I think maybe a mistake was made. I could be wrong. But what was launched during COVID was the stimulus package, which was $1,000 for people who were working in the tourism industry, and particularly those who were laid off as a result of COVID-19, and they were eligible to receive up to 1,000 EC dollars. So perhaps that is what he meant, but if it is PAP, no, that is incorrect. PAP was launched in 2018, and in 2018, nobody knew about COVID-19, and COVID-19 did not exist until late 2019, early 2020. Well, COVID came to St. Kitts and Nevis in March of 2020. So this March is about since COVID came to our doorsteps. We'll take a break to give a shout out to our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll continue Voices right here on Win FM 98.9. Let's take this break and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Here are your Horseman Value Mark IGA specials.
Running March 9 to the 23rd.
Now your Value Club Blue Tag specials. Essential Everyday Breadcrumbs, just $6.99. Essential Everyday Shredded and Chunk Cheeses, just $8.49. Essential Everyday Applesauce Bowls, $11.99. Essential Everyday Instant Puddings and Gelatins, $4.49. Purex Detergent, $14.99. Essential Everyday Trash Bags, $21.99. And now our very low weekly
Value deals! IGA and Essential Everyday Peanut Butter, $9.99. IGA and Essential Everyday Vinegar, White, 5%, $5.99. Essential Everyday Pasta, $4.99. IGA and Essential Everyday Cream Cheese, $6.49. Mueller's Lasagna, $6.99. Soft Soap Liquid Hand Soaps, $5.99. Shop smart, shop value mart. Tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí a Value Mart.
The Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis is now online, providing simple and convenient services to pay your loan anywhere at any time. It begins with you logging on to our website www.skndb.com. Click the online payment option, select Request Access, input your personal information, and submit payment. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Yes, we've made it easier for you to pay your loan anytime, anywhere. The Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis, making a sustained positive difference in your life.
Welcome back to the program. Caller, you are on the air. Good afternoon.
Yeah, Devon. You see, it is important when people speaking to the listeners to pay close attention to every word that comes out of their mouth, you know. Now, I agree, totally agree, 120%. With my good friend there, the last caller there from Cotton Ground who live in the States, and my good friend down here who live in Charlie Jones. I agree with them. Because how in the world you going to tell me that I am a part of an organization and something like that, what you call it, the PAP, something, a program like that, the PAP, and I'm going to come and tell the listening audience that it was introduced in 2018. Look how far 18 is from when the PAP was introduced. The PAP was introduced definitely to help people, the poor people them. So when you see politicians are speaking, especially politicians, people must listen carefully to every word they say. And when they slip up with anything that they shouldn't say to the listening audience, then the audience supposed to, hey, stop them in the tracks and let them know, hey, listen, no, don't come with that, you know. Don't come with that. You think, are we foolish? Will you come with that? No, we're listening closely. So I agree with the caller who said that my friend, my brother down here from Channingers, you know, call internet and see if he didn't correct him, because I think that was deliberately said, deliberately for political gain and some reasons. I think so, because how in the world he could make such a big error? Eh? That is misleading, man. Anyway, Devon, again, have a good day, brother.
All right, you too, caller, and thank you for your contribution to this program. The phone lines are open, and we are welcoming your calls at 466-0989 or 662-0989. That is 466-0989 or 662-0989. This is Voices for Wednesday, March 15, 2023. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take some more calls. Caller, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. And you?
Yeah. You notice with Mark Brantley's statement and all of them that was in PAM and CCM, everything, they don't know nothing about it. They're all confused now because they're trying to make a face for themselves. Oh, they're so ever going down. The same Mark Brantley said that when they was giving Timothy all the praise, he was saying, well, make all the praise he won. No harm to the rest of us. When now all the bad is belongs to Timothy and none for them. So don't him Mark just saying things to make a fame or make a name or whatever. All of them is the same thing. Lindsey Grant had come out and say he don't know nothing about the peace program, and all of them was in cabinet. All of them is so innocent, but all of them is guilty. Thank you.
All right, caller, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. You're listening to Voices right here on WINNFM 98.9. Hopefully the Premier will give an explanation. If it is that's what he said, I would hope that he'll give an explanation for that. But yeah, the PAP was not launched in 2020. It was launched in 2018. Maybe at this point, I can only say that maybe there was a mix-up where he said the stimulus was in 2020. I think it was September, maybe August or September of 2020 that was launched. Yeah, sometime between August or September 20. The stimulus, which was $1,000. But the PAP was 2018, and it is $500 per month for households that earn less than $3,000 monthly. That is the requirement, or one of the prerequisites for that program. We'll take some more calls. Let's head back to the phone lines. Caller, you're on the air. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon again. Because you is my family, if I'm needed. Question though. You have a girlfriend. Do you tell your girlfriend everything? Do your girlfriend tell you everything? Even in a marriage, no care who have such a sweet marriage, which no marriage is perfect. And they don't have everything. You think right now everybody in labor know what the Prime Minister is doing? I don't think so.
Right.
So when they call and condemn, they're saying they don't know nothing they didn't know till after they come out. They come out.
The government, yeah.
Unity thing. But if we follow the Bible never lead us wrong. Because it say what not even your shadow you must trust. Because certain things in everyone them things. No relationship is perfect, because you can marry to a woman and you think, oh, you love that woman, the woman this, but from the time you get married, you see a different side. If you marry to a man, are the same thing. So, but the only true thing is the Bible. And enough of us, instead we read the Bible, or we tell them go to church. They don't have to close to go to church, go listen to the word of God. But they got close to go, everything what they all got. I think the Bible, we should read, and the Bible will lead us right. You have a good day.
You too, call. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you so much for your contribution to this program. I don't understand where you're coming from, caller. Yes, there are some things that they perhaps did not know while they were part of the Team Unity administration, and perhaps only found out while they were on their way out, or in the last days of the administration. I think the point that is being made by some of the callers or people in general is the fact that they were senior members of the cabinet, and so they should have been privy to some of the information, or they should have known some of the things. And because there were decisions that had to be made, I don't think cabinet functions in a way where only the Prime Minister can make a decision and say, yes, this is what we're going to do. I stand to be corrected, but I think it's cabinet functions where it's majority rules. And so if majority says that this is the decision that we're going to take, or this is an initiative that we're going to implement, if you're the lone voice in the room, and you're not in support of that decision or initiative, then you just have to respect what majority says. And so I think that is what other people are saying. But I do get your point, caller. Maybe it's a situation where they did not know, or they were not aware of some of the things that were taking place in the administration until the last few days of that administration. I do understand and take that point. The phone lines are open, and we're taking your calls right here on Voices on WinFM 98.9. Today is Wednesday, March 15, 2023. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. Call us at 466-0989 or 662-0989. That is 466-0989 or 662-0989. Coming up at 3 p.m. today, we have Conscious Business with DJ Coffee. And of course, at 6 p.m., our daily sports and newscast. At 3 p.m., Conscious Business with DJ Coffee. And at 6, our daily sports and newscast. Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take some more calls. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hi, good afternoon. As long as something to program introduced to the country, every one of them know. So now let them talk about in the cabinet, you don't know this and you don't know that. So when whoever the lady, he or she was talking, whatever been going to implement for the country, all of them inside there know. All of them inside there know. So now got to talk about it, they don't know. All of them know. But everything now, because everything now, Timothy must take all the blame. Timothy do this. But there's nobody could run the country better than Timothy, so regardless you stand that. So I don't know what they're going on with it. What they're saying, I don't really and truly know. Because whatever, again, in program they introduce into the country, every one of them in the cabinet know. The only how they don't know if they don't go to cabinet. So now let them come and call up nothing. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, caller, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. You're listening to Voices right here on WinFM 98.9. The phone lines are open and we're taking your calls at 466-0989 or 662-0989. Let's take this call. Caller, you're on the air. Good afternoon.
Amen. Amen to me friend here just now. Amen. She must be seeing my book. Now, Devon, some people do not understand the purpose of the cabinet, you know. Anything for the country, it has to go in the cabinet to discuss and get the opinion of every member of the government before it goes into parliament. So that person will come on and trying to say that people in cabinet never know certain things were going on. Take back that misleading statement there. Everyone in the cabinet knows what's going to happen tomorrow. This is not one man, nothing in the pocket. And I will even go further than here. People will say it's only the Prime Minister who knows when election going to call. But we don't know. And I don't think no Prime Minister ever heard the date when he wants to call election, because he has to let them know what he intends to do and what he expects of them. So don't come with that. So amen again to my sister who just called in and correct them. Correct them, talk the truth, man. Don't mislead people for your own political gain-ons and tell people that they never know. They never know what. All of them in there know what's going on. They won't thank you, brother.
All right, caller, thank you so much for your contribution to this program. This is Voices on WinFM 98.9. Today is Wednesday, March 15, 2023. I'm your host for today, Devon Cornelius. All right, there are callers who are saying, perhaps they knew what was going on in the administration. I do recall some senior members coming out to say that they were not aware of certain things that took place, and members of the general public found it really hard to believe. How can you not be aware of major happenings or major programs or decisions that were made in a cabinet that you were a member of? I think that was the big question. Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take this final call. Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. We'll take one more call before we wrap up the conversation for today. Just call us at 466-0989. Make your point quickly, and we'll end our program for today. 466-0989 or 662-0989. Let's take this call. Caller, you are our final call for this afternoon. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Collins, I'm going to be quick. You know, this thing about folks don't know what took place in cabinet. I mean, you're trying to tell me, even if I am a part of cabinet and I am overseas on government business, you're trying to tell me that when I come back, I am not being briefed to say, well, okay, you know, we took a decision on Wednesday, you wasn't here, you know, etc. I mean, this is very hard for people to believe. None of your colleagues who sit in cabinet with you, you know, didn't say, well, okay, by the van while he was away, you know, we approved this, you know, we approved. You understand what I'm getting at?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm following you.
This is, I mean, some of these politicians, that you know, they think we are stupid. They think we, the voters, are stupid. They think we are stupid. Look, anyway, Mr. Cornelius, have a blessed Wednesday.
All right, same to you, caller, and thank you so much for your contribution to the program. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, guys, and thank you so much for calling into today's edition of Voices right here on WINN-FM 98.9. Voices for Wednesday, March 15, 2023. Until next time, you guys continue to stay safe. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. Coming up at 3 p.m., we have Conscious Business with DJ Coffee. And, of course, at 6 p.m., our daily sports and newscast right here on WINN-FM 98.9. I'm Devon Cornelius. You guys take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye.